Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Christina. If you're new joining me, thanks very much for stopping by. I'm happy to have you here. And if you're a returning subscriber, a returning viewer, welcome back. Happy to have you back. I'm gonna try to do a bunch of readings today. I've posted a couple already, but this probably won't come out until later. I'm trying to get readings recorded, and then kind of have them in the hopper ready to go and ready to be exported and uploaded to YouTube. And I've done one on Kamala Harris, and the Queen of Cups just came out right as I was thinking about Kamala Harris. I'm using the Godfather Tarot deck today for this reading because this is a rather dark topic that I'm actually covering today, and I've wanted to do this reading, but I've also been reluctant a little bit to do this reading because it is dark, and or it involves really dark things. And I did some preliminary research a little bit about some of the topics or some of the things that I'll be, or people, individuals that I'll be talking to, or not talking to, I'm sorry, talking about in this video, or referencing in this video. And excuse me, what I want to talk about today is let me look at my notes really, because I want to say this correctly, about the role that the victims of Jeffrey Epstein could play in the Orange One's downfall. And I think you know who I mean by the Orange One. He's currently in the White House. Some people refer to him as F-45. Some people refer to him as Felon 45. Some people refer to him as Dumpster Fire. There are all sorts of things. But, there was someone, a woman named Jess Michaels, who was a survivor of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse. I'm trying to put this, trying to call it what it is, but also be a little vague about what it is, so the YouTube censors don't get me. But I read an article, or listened to an interview that this woman, her name is Jess Michaels, gave to a journalist on Substack about her experience with Jeffrey Epstein and surviving his abuse. There is testimony from a Katie Johnson from 2016. I watched her testimony, which is on YouTube. You can find it quite easily. You type in Katie Johnson testimony 2016. You can find it, and in light of the news that we've heard recently regarding Ghislaine Maxwell and her movement from one prison facility to another in recent days. I read or listened to the memoir of Sarah Ransom, which was called Silence No More, about her experiences with both Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, and and then of course the situation with Virginia Giuffre and the Orange One's comment, not last week, but I think the week before, about how she was stolen from him like a piece of property. like a pencil or something that you might have, or a piece of money, which took issue with that, of course. I'm not going to get too far into that. But I wanted to know, or I wanted to, you gave me the idea that, especially this interview that I heard with Jess Michaels, about what role, if any, could any of these women or any other survivors of Epstein play in the end of the Trump administration, the end of the Orange Ones administration. I thought that would be something interesting to look at, and since the reason these women were connected with Epstein in the first place was due to criminal activity, criminal goings-on, I decided to use the Godfather Tarot. The Godfather is one of my favorite movies, but considering the subject matter of the movie, organized crime, and considering what Epstein was doing for entertainment purposes only, I'm not saying that it was the same thing, but it was criminal behavior, and it was organized criminal behavior. I wanted to take a look at what role these ladies, or any other ladies, women who were young and were taken advantage of by Epstein, may play in Trump's removal from office, or I don't know how that would work, but or the end of his term in office as the President of the United States. So I want to look at that. I'm going to try to make this video quick. I've already rambled for 7 minutes. Unfortunately, I apologize for that. That seems to be something that I do. Not sure. I just saw an odd light in the viewfinder, and I think there's some sort of insect or something flying around in here, which that's all right. I'll take care of him later. But I want to know, what role will any of Epstein's victims, Epstein and Maxwell's victims, have in the end of the Trump administration, if any? What role might they play? Because, you know, with Ghislaine being moved, with Ghislaine Maxwell being moved, it seems like they're trying to cover things up further. You know, they said that they had the Epstein list, scare quotes, and then they said they don't have it. They, being the administration, they said that they don't have it, and they're trying to cover it up because, you know, the Orange One's name is all over it. And furthering the cover up now, they've moved Ghislaine Maxwell from one prison to another, a lower security one, and I don't think she was in a high security prison before, but she's in a lower security prison now, which, given her the crimes that she's been charged with, is not where she belongs as a abuser of the sort that she is, for entertainment purposes only. But if you read Sarah Ransom's book, and if you listen to Virginia Giuffre, you listen to Katie Johnson, just give it a listen. So let's see where we go. All right, come on down. Let's take a look. All right, what role? First card out is the Nine of Swords. This is anxiety. Time is ticking. Time is ticking. I think it's only a matter of time until I'm sorry, the orange ones actions regarding actions and relationship with Epstein. Excuse me. It's only a matter of time until more information about it, I think, comes to the surface. And that could very well be in the form of some sort of leak information or testimony from somebody who was part of the trafficking on Lolita Express, or who ended up on St. James. I think it's Little St. James Island is what it's called. I think it's only a matter of time, really, until that information comes out, because and the orange one and his administration know that. I feel like this anxiety with the Nine of Swords that's their anxiety with, trying to keep everything covered and hidden, and it's also the anxiety of the survivors and their families, who are, of course, beyond fed up and beyond anxious about getting justice for their daughters and their sisters and cousins and the whole bit. So that's what sits at the heart of this matter. So I just feel like this is a ticking time bomb. It's a ticking time bomb, and eventually something's gonna come out. Something's gonna get leaked. Something's going to get exposed, more than has already been exposed, and a lot has been exposed. There's a lot of information and a lot of damning information that's out there. Okay, I got 2 cards. I'm going to put these both back in the deck. A lot of damning information that's out there. Too many cards. All right, let me hush and try to get these cards out all in one go. Here we go. 5 of Swords. Conflict. Okay. Past energy is 8 of Pentacles, money coming. Present energy is Judgment in reverse. And in the upright, what this says on the side is the past, second chances. Okay, I'm going to get to that in a second. Overarching energy is the Ace of Wands reverse. Upright it says new beginnings. Lesson to be learned. Lesson to be learned is the 7 of Swords, theft. And somebody breaking free, something breaking free with that chain and that lock. And the outcome, what is the outcome? I got 2 cards. I don't really want 2 cards. I'm going to put these all back, those 2 back actually. Is the outcome. Just a second, sorry. Too many cards again. It's the outcome. Okay, the outcome is the Nine of Pentacles, material comforts. Okay. Okay, and then our last two cards, top of the deck, which also represents the challenges that are faced, overall challenges that are faced, Death card. It says transformation, change, and new beginnings along the side. And then what we don't see coming is, the Eight of Wands. Movement and sudden change. All right. So just with that movement and sudden change card, this Eight of Wands card, I have a bad case of the hiccups. What we don't see coming is there is, I feel like these women, or any other new women, or not new women, any other survivors who speak up, or speak up more if we've already heard from them before, quite frankly, they are going to make some serious, definite change in this this administration. I don't know that they will be the sole reason for the Orange One's downfall, or his administration's downfall and failure, because there are a whole lot of other things, as we all know, going on that can contribute, and most likely will contribute to that. But I do believe that they are going to play a really, really big role. And I was listening to another reader, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot, I believe is the name of her channel. I know Revealing Light, those words are in the title. And in her most recent video from, I think, maybe Thursday night, she said that she feels that there may be a new victim of, and I don't like calling these women victims, because they're more than victims. They were victimized, and they've come out on the other side as survivors. Even the ones who are no longer with us, unfortunately, they did survive for a time, and and it's our job to make sure that what they endured wasn't, and what they sacrificed themselves for wasn't in vain, and we have to try to help other people who are in similar situations, or have been in similar situations, heal. But anywho, I do think that all of these stories, all of these survivors, and any witnesses that there were who may also speak up, they do play a very important role, I think, in the end of this administration. It won't be the direct result. This won't be the direct cause for the end of the administration, but it'll be a big part. I find it interesting that they used the image that they used on this card, and that it came out in this reading. Vito Corleone, feared murdered, because that brings to mind the ongoing talk, especially in light of the video that was released, the ongoing talk about whether Epstein himself did kill himself, or or if it was a hit, to put it bluntly. I don't want to get into that too much though right now, because I do want to talk about that in another video. But I just want to say, I do think that that this testimony, these stories, this information that is being shared, has been shared, will be shared with the public about what happened on that island to these women, will play a role in Trump's downfall, in the Orange One's downfall. Okay, so like I was saying before at the beginning, it's only a matter of time that hourglass is just the sand is trickling down, quickly. Um, I agree with Marianne that I think that there is somebody waiting in the wings to put forth some information. She may do it, or he, because there were also males who were being victimized. She or he, I think, is waiting in the wings to put their story forth. Challenge as the Five of Swords. Conflict. Five of Swords is about, to me, it's all about ill-gotten gains, things that are done, to hurt and to damage, and the person who's doing it doesn't. They have no conscience. They don't care what it is that they're doing. They don't care that they're hurting people. And there are lots of people who are in, or I would say a fair number of individuals who play a role and have a hand in the trafficking ring, who this card kind of applies to. They do have power. They don't care how they use it. They don't care who gets hurt when they use it. The only thing that they're concerned about is keeping the status quo, and for them, in order to benefit themselves, and keeping their power. And that is a big hurdle, I feel, because what's happening in the past. Eight of Pentacles. Money talks. Money talks. That's what all of this was. It was about possessions, and it was about money. In the traditional tarot deck, the Eight of Pentacles is about doing the work. Doing the work and getting paid for it, of course, but doing the work. And in this deck, because it is, what we were talking about is the Godfather organized crime, and what we were talking about is a crime ring, there was a lot of money that was being exchanged. We know that. There was a lot of money being exchanged. And the part of it could be that the testimony or some sort of statement could be part of what helps things come crashing down for the Orange One, but it could be something about financial records. I'm getting something about financial records, somehow money being transferred or something. There are a few ways, and things that were hidden, maybe in different bank accounts or whatever, that are harder to get into. I'm not entirely sure, because I don't know or understand how the criminal mind really works, but I just know that it's convoluted. And there are other people who thankfully do understand these things and can do the research and can do the work and get to the bottom of things and figure things out. But it is all about money. It was all about money. Judgment card in the reverse, present energy. Judgment card, I feel like it's a little with the imagery on this card, it's a little confused with the Justice card, but in this situation, that's okay, because there has been, with this in reverse, there has been no justice for these individuals. And we may not know everything that happened to them. We know a lot. If you listen to Katie Johnson, if you listen to Jess Michaels, and if you listen to Sarah Ransom and you listen to her book, you can put together a pretty good picture of what was going on and how this worked. And it was a very It was a very complex, and I almost want to say very thought out system that Epstein, Maxwell et al. had were operating and were taking part in. It was very complex. There were lots of layers to it, and as there were a lot of layers to it, there are also a lot of layers to unraveling it now, that we're kind of on the other side and we're investigating. These individuals have gotten a lot of second chances with this in reverse, but they don't deserve them. The Judgment card is, in the traditional deck, when it's right side up, it's about rebirth. It's about resurrection. And while we do need to resurrect these, resurrect and unearth and uncover these stories that have been hidden, and this information that's been hidden and covered up and swept under the rug, the people who have been doing the sweeping, or who have been ordering the sweeping of things under the rug, they can't get any more second chances. And I think that's where the families and of the survivors and the survivors themselves who are still with us are at right now. It's like we've had it. We have had it. We have had it. We've had it. I think whatever happens further with Ghislaine's situation, that is a big nail in the coffin, I think, for the administration. It's going to be a big death knell for the administration, because I think these people are going to, more people are going to crawl out of the woodwork, more people are going to speak up, somehow get their voices heard, get their stories out there. It's been a long time coming, but the second chances are over. That's where we are right now. Reiterating that was really the Ace of Wands in reverse. And the upright, it's new beginnings, like I said. It's passion. It's excitement and verve and vigor. And I think all that still exists, but I'm actually getting the idea of like an explosion, quite frankly, with the Ace of Wands. If you take fire and you add, well, let's say it's like a Molotov cocktail. That's what I'm seeing. It's like a Molotov cocktail. There's something that's going to happen that's going to blow stuff up. And I'm surprised the tower didn't come out, but it may not really have needed to. I just feel like we've had enough. It's been enough. We're done. Lesson to be learned. Breaking free. I think my prediction is, and I'm going to pull a clarifier on this, but my prediction is that Ghislaine is going to get released. Ghislaine's going to get released. They're playing up the victim card for her quite a bit. And I think she's going to get released. And I think that's what's going to bring about this almost an uprising that I'm feeling. And none of the cards really speak to an uprising of sorts, but I feel like that's what's going on. Is there is an uprising amongst the lawyers. I think Bradley Edwards was one of Virginia Giuffre's lawyers, and one of the lawyers for quite a few of these people. And he's written a book about Epstein himself, and based on what he's learned representing these women. And people like him and his law partners, people that he's worked with, the other survivors and their lawyers, I think that there's going to be an uprising amongst them, and like legally, I guess would be like I don't know if it would be a class action lawsuit. I don't know. I'm not a criminal attorney. Um, I'm not an attorney at all, but it's a joint forces that are coming together, and they're breaking they're they're breaking things apart. And because it yes, Epstein is gone, but Ghislaine is still around, and I just don't see them sitting by idly while she's set free, just so that Trump's name, the orange one's name, can stay semi clean. I don't see that happening. I don't see them going gently into that good night at all, and I don't blame them at all for that. Um, they're not going to take that well, and nor should they. Um, but they're going if she is set free, which they would view as a theft, a further abuse of them, of their loved ones, of their clients. They're not going to take. They're not going to deal with it. They're not. It's not going to work. It's just not going to work. Yeah. So I think that Ghislaine may go free. I'm going to ask. I have a deck of yes or no cards here. Some say yes, some say no, some are blank. Those both say no. Yes, there you go. Some are blank. But I'm going to ask these cards later on about if she might get released eventually. Um, but anyways, last card, outcome, Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles for me sometimes is Ghislaine Maxwell. Because she is a very wealthy woman. She's socialite, comes from money. Material comforts. Also, there's a car key here, and what looks like the badge, hood ornament off of a Cadillac. I think between financial records and transportation logs of some sort, that could be what that could be the evidence that's presented, or that gets leaked or discussed somehow, that helps bring the orange one down. That combined with the theft card and the breaking free with the seven of swords. They might release her under cover of darkness. And she might disappear to like an island, or somehow be untraceable. I don't think they would fake it as a suicide. I think it's going to be some sort of release, or some sort of like jailbreak or something, orchestrated, organized jailbreak for entertainment purposes only, of course. But this would be something that the government orchestrates. I do believe. Yeah, that's what I feel. I'm kind of foggy on a lot of the details there, of course, but I feel like between Ghislaine and somebody with testimony, somebody with information speaking out, I think somehow it's going to be linked back to the orange one, and that will be part one of the many things that takes him down. Let's clarify. I want to clarify the Seven of Swords as the lesson to be learned. Oh, this is interesting. 6, leaving conflict behind. In the traditional tarot deck, the Six of Swords shows 3 people in a boat: a woman, a child, and a man who is steering the boat, and they're moving away from rocky, choppy waters to calmer waters. They're disappearing. I still get the feeling that's Ghislaine here disappearing, with these 2 cards disappearing in the dead of night, and somebody's helping her disappear. Oh, excuse me, cat hair. I do have a cat. I'm surprised that she hasn't joined us, but cat hair kind of exists in my house a lot, so pardon me. Let's clarify the 9 of Pentacles. Okay, 3 of Cups, celebration. Okay, 9 of Pentacles. I could feel like this is the outcome. This is the justice that these women get with the 9 of Pentacles. I don't feel like this is like some sort of monetary reward or something they get for a lawsuit or anything like that. I feel like this is freedom, really, that they experience as a result of coming forward with more information about what happened to them over the course of however many years dealing with Maxwell and Epstein, the role that the Orange One or any of his businesses played in the dealings of, or supported for entertainment purposes only, the dealings of Epstein and Maxwell, financially supported those endeavors. It's really hard to describe this as something other than what it is. So you'll have to forgive me. But I feel like there's celebration and freedom for them, which I'm glad about. I want to pull one more on the Seven of Swords. Please give me one more card to clarify the Seven of Swords. I'm going to take these 3 cards. I've got the 2 of Wands, making plans, the 4 of Wands, which says a holiday on the side there, and then here we go, the 10 of Cups, which says happiness and family. The Orange One may work a deal with, or may be in the process with the making plans card. That could be what this meeting that Ghislaine has had with Blanche and all that has been about, making a deal to get out of town, get out of Dodge, to get back with her family. It could be between, her brother or one of her brothers or one of her siblings. She's one of quite a few children, if I believe the youngest of a number of children. They could be helping. I feel like if they're still back in England, they could be helping get her released, and they're going to remove her to someplace closer to family, or someplace that the family has bought and paid for, or something, and it's in some sort of out of the way type of place. It could be like a holiday destination or a vacation destination, as we say in the United States. Not Las Vegas, of course, but I'm getting something off the coast of Spain, or Portugal, someplace warm. I'm feeling. In some place where she can be alone, where she's going to be alone. I think even though her family removes her from the United States to this place, could be an island, but it could be an island south of the United States, but I'm really thinking it's a European Mediterranean island of some sort. I don't think that her family is going to spend a whole lot of time with her there, because I don't think they can afford to be seen with her, or afford to be around her. Sorry, these things, bugs flying around. All right, let's do the yes/no deck. All right. Will Ghislaine Maxwell be released and disappeared from her new prison and moved elsewhere, or sent elsewhere? That was way too many, very sloppy. Oh, yes. Yes, and this is a blank card, so I think they're still in the planning phase. Not everything has been decided, but I would say more than likely, yes, that is the plan, is for her to be released from prison, disappeared under cover of darkness, in secret, in disguise, the whole bit. That's going to set off a firestorm of problems for the Orange One. And I feel like the Bradley Edwards of the world, and the Sarah Ransoms of the world, and the Maria Farmer, I think, is she still... I can't remember if she's still with us or not, but her family, the Farmers, Virginia Giuffre's family, the Roberts, they are going to go ballistic, and for good reason. All right. As always, this has been for entertainment purposes only. Thank you very much for joining me and for watching this video. Stay until the end. I'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. If you're interested in a reading with me, you can check out my description box below. Everything is there, all the information about my rates, how to get in contact with me, my Instagram handle. And I hope you've enjoyed this, like I said, and hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Thanks very much for joining me. Take care.